Gotham City, New Jersey, December 13th, 2017, 1 a.m. The Batmobile pulls in to the Batcave and parks on the hydraulic turntable. The canopy slides open and Batman jumps out. He quickly walks over to the costume vault where Alfred stood waiting. He begins taking off his cowl, his cape, and his utility belt. Alfred asks, "So, Master Wayne, I trust tonight was a fruitful night for you." Bruce says, "Yes, it was. I busted Anthony Lester at the Sundown Bar. Turned out that bar was a clearinghouse for a numbers racket. And who's running that numbers racket? None other than our old friend Louis Garrett, a.k.a. Louis the Lilac." Alfred's like, "Good heavens, sir. Louis the Lilac back in Gotham? Since when?" Bruce replies, "I don't know. Who knows? It doesn't matter. He's back in Gotham, and maybe this time I can bust him for good." "Well, anyways," he says to Alfred, "I'm going to go upstairs and call it a night." Well, Alfred says, "Well, good night, sir." Bruce Wayne replies back, "Good night, Alfred." So Bruce Wayne was now completely out of his bat suit and was just wearing his t-shirt and undergarments, and he headed back up to the manor. He goes into his bedroom, plugs in his cell phone, sets the alarm for 5:30 in the morning, and jumps into bed. He slept through the cold night as light snow and showers were falling outside. It was around 5:30 that his alarm went off in the cell phone, making the air horn race siren that he chooses for an alarm. Bruce Wayne turns off the alarm, lets out a loud stretch and yawn. And he gets up and heads over to the bathroom where he shaves and brushes his teeth, and he begins his morning exercise routine by hitting the treadmill and punching the punching bag and doing a few kicks. Afterwards, he goes down to have breakfast, where he watches the morning news. The local news were reporting of the police's bust of the clearinghouse and the arrest of Anthony Lester. But Bruce Wayne knew who really deserves credit, but the commissioner, in order to avoid the FBI and other law enforcement agencies to investigate a vigilante activity in Gotham City, always has the police take credit for the bust that Batman does. And it's worked. It's kept the feds out of Gotham City for the last 18 years of Batman's crime-fighting career. After having his breakfast, Alfred hands him his briefcase, and he heads out to his car. Bruce Wayne was deciding which car was he going to take to work this morning. He decided to take the Aston Martin. He gets into the Aston Martin and drives out into the cold New Jersey morning. There was some powdered snow on the ground as he drove out of his property and drove into Gotham City proper. He arrives at his private parking space right by the elevator in the garage of Wayne Enterprises building. When he gets out of his car, he's greeted by his old friend and CEO, Lucius Fox. Lucius Fox, the middle-aged, very soft-spoken African-American man, says, "Well, good morning, Mr. Wayne." Bruce says, "Good morning." "So how was your night?" asked Bruce to Fox. Fox replies, "It was nice. Me and the wife, we did a little something for a little, Christmas thing." So they get in the elevator and they talk over business and everything as the elevator carries them up to the upper floors of the building. When they exit out the elevator, they head straight to Bruce Wayne's office. Margaret, Bruce Wayne's longtime secretary, was there typing away at the computer. She sees the two men come into the office and she says, "Good morning, Mr. Wayne. Good morning, Mr. Fox." The two men smile and reply back, "Good morning, Margaret," together. And they go into Bruce Wayne's office. As Bruce Wayne heads over to his desk and puts his briefcase on the desk, he notices a small, well, not a small, but a long gift-wrapped object on his desk. Bruce looks at Lucius and is like, "Lucius, you shouldn't have." Lucius smiles, "Well, Mr. Wayne, I thought I'd give this to you now. It's going to be the best Christmas present you probably will have and will help you in your crusade, sir." Bruce Wayne unwraps the nicely wrapped object. It looked like a case, like sort of a rifle case, but it was way too small or too thin for it to be a rifle. He opens it up, and there was a case. He opens the case up, and there was a small gun-like object there with a long nose. Bruce Wayne grabs it, holds it in his hand, and asks Lucius, "So, what is this, Lucius?" Lucius replies, "Well, Mr. Wayne, it's to help you here." Bruce is puzzled, like, "Help me here? I already have a directional microphone," he says. Lucius smiles and says, "This is not your conventional directional microphone. This actually goes above and beyond what a directional microphone can do. This is what I call a sonic laser. It sends a laser beam that directly into the target that you're trying to listen onto, like the conference room. And you can hear every detail going on. And I included a USB cord built into it. That way you could connect it to your Palm top computer, where I already installed a special app that'll record the whole thing. And thus you'll have a good full recording of whatever enemy you want to listen on to, Mr. Wayne. All you have to do is just like any rifle, point and shoot. And I included a nice scope for you to use to target who you want to listen on to. I believe it has an effective range of maybe close of 2 miles, maybe less, but it's got good distance, Mr. Wayne," he said. "And it's collapsible." Bruce Wayne collapses it as he takes it apart and folds it, and he says, "Fox, thank you. Thank you. This is what I definitely need. Now I can retire that lunky old directional microphone. Plus, it's getting up there in age and was giving me problems, but thanks." No, Lucius says, "Don't mention it, Mr. Wayne. I mean, tis the season." Bruce says, "I don't know what I would do without you, man. I don't know what would I do without you." Well, the day went on in the office, any typical businessman's day. Bruce Wayne had meetings, had a meet and greet with the press for his charity, that thing that he does every year, and even had dinner with Corinne, that nice young woman he met not too long ago at the car dealership from a previous case. Well, after his day was over, it was nearing time for him to leave. And since the sun sets early up in New Jersey, it was already setting as he was leaving home from work. He gets into his Aston Martin and drives off into the dying day. There was another report of some light snow that was going to happen, and Bruce Wayne was also stuck on the Gotham Bridge's heavy traffic as he was leaving for Gotham Heights. He arrives home to his manor, parks the Aston in the garage, and heads in where Alfred already had dinner ready. Bruce Wayne takes off his business suits and just switches into his basketball shorts and t-shirt. He turns up the heat in the house and sits down and has dinner with Alfred. The two of them eat and discuss their day and what they did. It was a typical day for Bruce Wayne. It was a typical day for Alfred. But he also did show off the new toy that Lucius gave him. Alfred studied the sonic laser and said with amazement, "My Mr. Lucius has a talent for electronics." I would not want to see the day, he says, when he retires. Bruce Wayne let out a loud chuckle and said, "That's not going to happen. I'm not going to let it happen." "Either way, it's time to get to work," said Bruce. Bruce and Alfred head to the grandfather clock. Bruce Wayne moves the fingers of the clock to 9:47, activating the secret entrance to the Batcave. The two men climb into the elevator. During the elevator ride down, Bruce says, "Alfred, you're going to have to take over as the electronic eyes and ears tonight. I have no Oracle tonight." Alfred's like, "What's going on, Master Bruce?" Bruce responds back, simple. Cassie's at some meeting over Gotham Royal Hotel, I think a women in business conference. So that's not gonna be over until late night. So you'll have to just fill in for her. Alfred says that's no problem. The elevator stops, the door opens, and as the two men exit out into the Batcave, the lights turn on. The alarm was sounding in the Batcave, coming from the Batcomputer. That was the alarm that the Bat signal was lit, shining in the sky. Bruce walks over to the Bat costume vault and starts suiting up, while Alfred walks over and sits and gets himself accommodated and set up on the Batcomputer. Batman emerges from the vault and he says, "I'll see you later," and jumps into the Batmobile, fires up its jet engines, and takes off out into the cold, wintry night. He drives over to a building nearby, parks the Batmobile in the back alley. He gets out, closes the canopy, activates the security system, grapples onto the roof, and heads out to the GCPD building. Meanwhile, on the roof of the GCPD building, it was a rather nastily cold night. It was about 25 degrees outside, the wind was blowing, and Commissioner Gordon was freezing his butt off on the roof waiting for Batman. He was smoking a cigarette, complaining like, "Oh God, this cold weather, oh." When all of a sudden, Batman scared the crap out of him when he said, "Commissioner." The Gordon screamed, "Oh," and threw a cigarette. He turns around and says, "God damn it, Batman, would you stop doing that? I have a bad heart." Batman says, "Sorry. You have something, Commissioner." The Commissioner says, "Yes, I do. Yes, I do." Lester cracked, finally, told us everything that he knew. Louis the Lilac has a front operation on 4th Street, a florist shop of all things. Either way, it's a 2-story building, said the Commissioner. Probably the flower shop in the front and illegal activities in the back. The Commissioner was stammering on his words when he was trying to reach for his cigarette in his trench coat pocket. When he lifted up his head after pulling out his new cigarette, Batman was gone. The Commissioner angrily said, "One of these days I'm going to take a cowbell and put it on that man so I could hear him when he sneaks out." Several hours later, Batman was 3 or 4 roofs away from the florist shop. He was laying on his stomach with the sonic laser unfolded, a USB cable running to his palm-top computer. He was recording the whole conversation in the meeting room from across that distance. Louis the Lilac was giving his meeting, going over his plans on what was next. Louis the Lilac was an African-American male in his 50s, short, and suffers from a Napoleon complex. He is known as Louis the Lilac for his gaudy lilac suit that he wears with the lilac flower on his lapel and the lilac flower in his hat. Next to him, doing her nails and smacking gum, was his girlfriend, Quay Lavender, who was wearing an equally gaudy lavender dress. Louis the Lilac was going over his plans, what he was going to do with the racket money, and it was explained to his men that he was going to buy the Gotham Cruise Line. The cruise line had fallen some hard times and their stock prices fell. He was going to buy the majority share and use the cruise ships as a new way to smuggle illegal goods into the States. The men were just clapping, cheering, and complimenting him on his plans. He was smiling. He's like, thank you guys, you're so kind." Either way, the sooner I can get this money in my Swiss bank accounts, I could start going with these plans, he says. Someone raised their hand. Louis points to him. He's like, "Yeah, Johnson." Johnson says, "What about Lester? He got caught and the money that he collected is in police hands now." Louis says, "Lester's capture and the loss of the money he collected has not affected this operation at all. In fact, it doesn't affect nothing at all. It's just there's not even a setback," said Louis the Lilac. "No setback at all. So I suggest we forget about Lester and forget about his f up, and we just move on." As Louis the Lilac was going into more detail about his plan, the alarm for the shop sounds off. Louis the Lilac looks around and looks at his men and says, "It can't be. It can't be him. I bet you it's him," he said, now going into this paranoid appearance. One of his men's like, "What is it, boss? What is it? Who do you think it is?" Louis the Lilac says, "I know who it is. It's that son of a bitch Batman. He's here. He's downstairs. Go, all of you, go and finish him. Finish him off." The men quickly gathered their guns and left the room. They all went downstairs. Quay, his girlfriend, says, "Louis, you think it's really Batman?" Louis Lilac says, "Yes, I know it's Batman. That son of a bitch. He's always raining on my parade. He's always raining on my parade. He's done this since the beginning. Oh, but no, he's not going to get away. He's not going to get away this time. No, he's not," said Louis the Lilac. He says, "Quay, get the money packed up and be ready. As soon as the men kill Batman, we all leave," said Louis the Lilac. Louis could hear from the upstairs room the men shooting, screaming, and by the sound of it, all being taken down by Batman. Louis the Lilac knew he was coming. "He's coming," he says. "He's coming," he says to his girlfriend. No, he says. He runs to the door and shuts it and locks it. No, you're not coming to get me, Batman. No. Quay's like, "Louis, baby, come on. That door's not going to hold him. That door's not going to hold him at all." Louis runs to the corner of the room and grabs his AK-47 and loads up. He says, "Oh, I know this door won't hold him, but I know this gun. This gun will kill him. This is a machine gun." And he says to Quay, and at this range, his little armor, that armor suit of his or whatever he wears for body armor won't protect him. It's useless at this range. So he was waiting with his gun pointing at the door, waiting for Batman to come and kick it down. It's like, "Come on, you winged freak. Come on," he says. Suddenly, as he was waiting, the Batman crashes through the window, throwing a smoke pellet into the room. Louis the Lilac starts shooting like crazy. "Oh, you son of a bitch! You're not gonna get me with smoke!" He starts shooting his machine gun like crazy. Soon the AK-47 was out of ammo, but he unloaded the clip, quickly put on a new clip. The smoke didn't last too long as it was sucked out by the broken window. But Batman was nowhere to be seen. Louis the Lilac wondered, where is he hiding? It's a small room. Can be many places for him to hide. Louis the Lilac says, come out, where you are, little pointy-ear asshole. Come out. I'm going to kill you this time. I'm going to do the one thing that no one was able to do. Kill the Batman. And I'm going to be big in the city again." "You watch," said Louis. "I will be big. The man who killed Batman. The man who succeeded where everybody else failed." Suddenly, he heard a noise. He quickly turns around, points his gun, sees Batman hiding behind a small pillar with a vase on it. He says, "So, you think that big marble column's gonna save you, Batman? It's not gonna save you." But suddenly Quay comes in with something. She's like, "Hey baby, don't worry, I got him good." She had in her hand a incendiary grenade. She quickly pulls the pin and throws it. Louis the Lilac screams, "Quay, you stupid bitch! That's an incendiary grenade! Come on, let's go!" Suddenly, Batman and along with Louis the Lilac and Quay all make a mad dash for the exit. Louis and Quay trying to go out the door where they were waiting for Batman to come in, as Louis was desperately trying to get the lock undone until he finally got the lock and opened the door. Batman ran straight for the window he came crashing through, and as soon as he leapt out the window, the grenade went off, and there was a big loud boom, and a fireball hit the back of Batman, mainly causing his cape to catch fire. Batman fell down into the alley and landed on a bunch of garbage bags filled with whatever garbage, but it was soft enough and it broke his fall. Batman just rolled around until the fire was put out from his cape. He makes his way back into the front of the store where Louis' unconscious goons were at. Sure enough, as he went through the back door into the other part of the building, where the stairs that led up to the little makeshift conference room was, he could see the fire upstairs, but he also saw on the ground the burnt bodies, or the bodies that were burning, of Quay and Louis the Lilac. Both, they did not make it. The incendiary, even though he opened the door, the fireball from the incendiary grenade got him and Quay, and sent him flying from the second floor down below. Batman used his detective mode. There was no pulse. They were both dead. Well, with nothing left to do, Batman just walks away. Not long later, the police show up, send the men to the hospital, and put out the fire, and just pretty much Louis Garrett, aka Louis the Lilac, and Quay Lavender, they're just put in the body bags and sent to the coroner's office. Well, the next day, Bruce Wayne wakes up, stretches, and decides, should I go to work today or not? Suddenly, Alfred walks in the room with breakfast. He says, "Good morning, Master Wayne. I hope you had a good night's sleep." Bruce says, "Yeah, I did." He asks his trusty butler, should I go to work today or should I just call in? Alfred says, "Well, it's up to you, Master Bruce. It's up to you. Oh, and I suggest you return your calls for Corinne. I really like that nice young woman. I think she's good for you. I guess she couldn't reach you on the cell phone, so she called the house phone. The message is, please call her back as soon as possible. She really wants to see you again." Bruce lets out a smile. "You know what, Alfred? You know what? I think I'm going to call in today and spend the day with Corinne." Like and subscribe. The end.